Hi, I'm Helen and welcome to class. Today's practice is a Vinyasa flow class focusing on strength and mobility. It is more towards the intermediate side, so if you're a beginner, you are welcome to practice along. Be mindful of your body and remember you can always take child's pose and you can also always pause the video. That's one of the bonuses of practicing online. Without further ado, we will begin. Start in a comfortable seat with the hips higher than the knees. Palms are face up on the knees. For a moment, we will keep the eyes open because we're going to do a short exercise. Spine is straight, shoulders are back and down, crown is going up to the sky. And focus your attention on an object that is within your range of vision. So wherever you're practicing, something in the room, cast your eyes around and fix on something that draws your attention. It can be an inanimate object, it could be a plant, anything. Visualize that object in your mind, and then when you're ready, close the windows of the eyes. Have that image of that object in your mind, and you will ask this object two questions. The first question is, what is your secret? What is your secret? And the second question is, how do you survive? How do you survive? So you may be getting some answers coming up. Just focus on those two questions. Nice, easy breathing. And we will return to these at the end of practice. A few more breaths here. When you are ready, slowly open the eyes. We will come onto the back, so get there any way you can. Briefly start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So using the strength of the core to come down maybe. Soles of the feet together, knees flop open. You can always support the thighs with some blocks. Palms are facing upwards and the thumb now is touching the earth. So this opens the chest a little bit more on the shoulders. Close the eyes. And now is the time to thank yourself for coming to the mat. Bring the awareness to the parts of the body that are in contact with the earth. Maybe the knife edge of the feet, the sacrum, the upper back and the backs of the shoulders, the backs of the arms, the backs of the hands, the thumbnail, and the back of the head. Feel that support from the earth. And know that anytime you're feeling a little anxious, you can always just come down to the earth to feel grounded. One more deep, long breath, maybe an audible exhale, letting everything go. And open the eyes. Use the strength of the hands to push the knees together. Bring the knees up one by one into the chest. You can give yourself a little hug and a squeeze, maybe rocking gently side to side on the sacrum. And we'll move into something that I call open the book. Knees come to tabletop. Shins are parallel to the earth. Arms are wide like a T with the palms facing upwards. As you take an inhale. As you exhale, roll over onto the left side, the whole body moving as one unit, and the right arm comes to meet the left palm. So imagine you are a closed book here. On an inhale, the top arm, the right arm, will come over the head, over to the other side, and as you move, the body comes over too, and then the body goes over to the right, closing the book on the right side. Again, inhale, this time left arm overhead, coming onto the back, left arm touches the earth, and then the right arm comes over and closes the book on top. A couple more of these. Inhale as you bring the arm over and rock onto the back, and then exhale as you close the book. Inhale, open the book. Exhale, close. One more each side. Inhale, open the book. And then from the other side, inhale, opening the book again. And then exhale, closing, back to where we started. Then come up to tabletop again, bring the knees in for one little squeeze. Rock and roll up to a seat, maybe a couple of times. Always feels nice to massage out the spine. Come over the shins and meet in tabletop. I will pad up my knees here. Knees directly underneath the hips, hands directly underneath the shoulders. A few rounds of cat-cow. On an inhale, belly dips and chest lifts. As you exhale, round in the spine, head comes down, shoulder blades protract. Inhale, lift into cow. Exhale, round in the spine into a Halloween cat. Inhale, lift, cow. Exhale, cat. One more, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And return to neutral. Planting the right hand directly underneath the shoulder. Left arm extends in front and the right leg straight behind. So imagine you're pushing out rather than lifting up. Core is engaged. Feel this diagonal pull. Breathe here. This is such a great posture to strengthen the spine. And release down, side B. Left hand under left shoulder. Inhale, right arm and left leg extend. Keeping the pelvis neutral, facing down to the earth. Engage in the back body. Lengthening out of the limbs. And then exhale, return. Side one again. Inhale, left arm and right leg. This time, left arm comes out perpendicular to the mat, and the same with the right leg. So this is a bit challenging. Trying to keep that right leg in line with the hip. Breathing here, engaging the core. Then release the right foot to the floor outside the mat. Come up for gate pose. Arms to a T. Right hand outside of right leg. Leaning over, stretching out the left side body. Always feels so good. Inhale back to a T. Hands come down. Right leg sweeps behind and return to tabletop. Other side, left leg and right arm. Engage in that core. Both limbs then come out to the side of the mat. Breathing here. Belly inside. Trying to keep that leg level with the hip. Left foot comes down. Inhale the body up to vertical. Come into gate pose on the other side. Right arm reaching across. Left hand on the outside of the left leg. Body's in the side plane. Feeling that stretch down the right side body. Inhale back up to a T. Exhale, hands come down. Left leg lifts, sweeps back to the back and return to tabletop. From here, the hands move one handprint in front. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips up to the first downward facing dog of the day. Take a free breath or so here. Hands shoulder width apart. Sit bones to the sky. Back is lengthening. Heels are descending. Breath is steady. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps up. Coming into a low lunge. Back knee descends. Hands come inside the front foot. Walk this right foot out slightly to the edge of the mat. Descending into the hips, lifting the chest. Inhaling the right arm up to the sky. Picking up the back foot and reaching, maybe grabbing the foot. If you can't reach, just visualize you have hold of it. Opening the chest, maybe rocking onto the knife edge of that right foot. Breathing here. Exhale, release. Tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps up. Back knee descends. Reaching out of the waist, lifting the chest. Maybe bending this back foot. Rocking onto the knife edge of this left foot. Reaching back for the back foot. Coming into this twisting lunge. I think this is one of my favorite poses. Then release. Tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Knees will come down and we'll return to tabletop. Keeping the right knee bent, lift it up to the sky as if you're pushing into the heavens above. Pelvis is facing downwards. Tuck the left toes and using the strength of the left leg, come up to three-legged dog. As you exhale, open this top hip into scorpion. Breathe here. Maybe roll out the foot a couple of times in each direction. Then neutralize the hips. Right knee comes to right elbow. Right knee goes back. Then return to tabletop. Side B. Left foot pushes up to the sky. Tuck the right toes. Lift up into downward facing dog. Straighten the leg. Then open the hip into scorpion. Neutralize the hip. Left knee comes forward to the left tricep. Back up to three-legged dog. Back down to tabletop. Again, right foot to the sky. Tuck the left toes. Three-legged dog. Scorpion. Knee to tricep, three-legged dog, back to tabletop, left foot to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion, knee to tricep, three-legged dog, back to tabletop. Again, right foot to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion, right knee, right tricep, three-legged dog, tabletop. Left foot to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion, left knee, left tricep, three-legged dog, descend to the earth. We'll do one more round each side. Right foot pushes up to the sky with a bent knee, three-legged dog, scorpion, right knee, right tricep, three-legged dog, tabletop. Left foot pushes to the sky, tuck the toes, three-legged dog, scorpion, knee to elbow, three-legged dog, and then back to tabletop. And breathe here. You can take a child if you need. Just reconnecting with the breath, maybe rolling out the wrists. Being mindful of our bodies. And then come back up to tabletop. From tabletop, step one foot back at a time. Come into plank. Hold here for 5 breaths. Protracting the shoulder blades, really pushing those hands into the earth. Zipping up the front body. Legs are straight and strong. Heels are pushing into an imaginary wall. Breathing is even. Bell is engaged. I think that's probably 5 breaths. Then come down to elbow plank. So one at a time. It is easier to clasp the hands together. However, if you want to train your shoulders for something like Pinchamayurasana, keep the forearms parallel. Breathe here. Zipping up that midline. Neck is neutral. Remembering that everything is temporary. When you're ready, slowly descend the hips and come down to the earth. Bringing the forehead down. Allow the arms to come back behind with the tops of the hands on the earth. Breathe here. Reconnect with the breath. Moving into Shalabhasana. On an inhale, everything will lift up. Chest, shoulders, legs lengthening out of the spine. Breathing here. Keeping the neck neutral. Just gazing just a little bit in front of the mat. Lower down, bringing one ear to the earth. These back bends really generate a lot of heat. They're very exhilarating. They're better than a cup of coffee. Return to neutral. Again, inhale, lift everything up. This time maybe interlacing the hands behind the back. Always find I can get a little bit higher. Breathing, keeping the neck long. And then release down, bringing the other cheek down. So it may feel pretty different on your neck when you look the other way. Return to the center line. One more. Inhale, lift everything up. If you like, you can stay with Shalabhasana or reach back, move into Dhanurasana. breathing. And then slowly release. This time palms come underneath the forehead. Just allow the head to rest. Catch your breath. And we'll move into some mobility work. Make sure you have clear space either side of your mat. Remaining in this face down position, arms come out to a T. Lift the left leg up and then roll on to the right side, bringing maybe this left foot flat to the earth. So I always like here sometimes to just put a block under my ear so it keeps the neck neutral. This top arm can go wherever you want. Maybe clasp it behind into a chest expansion and breathe here. As you're here, depending on your flexibility, maybe you can actually start to lean onto that back arm, turning the torso further up to the sky. If you're very flexible, you may be able to bring the soles of both feet to the earth, but you don't have to. Gently release, coming over to the other side. So the left arm extends. Bring this right foot behind, maybe flat to the earth. You can stay here, or if it's available to you, maybe clasping the hands behind you. Breathing deep. Slowly coming out. Returning to neutral, moving that block out the way if you used it. Coming face down, maybe the arms extended. Pushing back, seat to heels. Take one breath in child's pose. Inhale, come up, and downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right knee comes into the chest. Rotate on the back foot, come into fallen triangle. So allow the side of the right foot to come to the earth. Shoulders are stacked. Using the hips to press up to the sky. Hand will come down. Knee comes back to chest. And rotate all the way around into side plank on the left side. Arm goes up to the sky. You can stack the feet or have them staggered. Even the knee down. Breathing here. Lift this top leg. Then bend and come into a wild thing. Then seat comes down. Touch this bottom foot again. Come back up. Wild thing. Side plank. Hand comes down. Downward facing dog. There was a lot going on there. We got a second side to get the sequence. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to chest. Fallen triangle. Top hand comes down. Left knee swings around, side plank on the right hand side. Stacking, staggering, knee can be down, gauging the obliques. And from here, top leg lifts. Then the knee comes behind, wild thing. Seat comes down, touch the toe, wild thing. Side plank. Hand comes down, downward facing dog. Take a free breath. Now we'll flow with that. Make it a little bit more seamless. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to chest. Fallen triangle, you can hover this time if you like. Hand comes down, rotate all the way around, side plank. Top leg lifts, wild thing. Seat to the floor, touch this toe. Back up to wild thing. Back to side plank. Back to plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Knee to chest, fallen triangle or hovering. Hand comes down, side plank, right side. Lift the top leg. Wild thing. Seat to the earth. Tap this foot. Wild thing. Side plank. Normal plank. Downward facing dog. Couple of times more through and adding vinyasas. Right leg lifts, knee to chest, hovering triangle. Hand comes down, side plank left side. Top leg lifts, wild thing. Seat to the earth, fingertips to toes, wild thing. Side plank. Hand comes down, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, knee to chest, hovering triangle, side plank right side, left leg lifts, wild thing. Seat comes down, fingertips to toes, wild thing. Side plank. Hand comes down, take a vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath. And again, right leg lifts, knee to chest. Hovering triangle, side plank left side, right leg lifts, wild thing, seat to the earth, fingertips to toes, wild thing, side plank, normal plank. Maybe a chaturanga with a double dip. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Knee to chest. Hovering triangle. Side plank, right side. Top leg lifts. Wild thing. Seat to the earth. Fingertips to toes. Wild thing. Back to side plank. Back to plank. Maybe a double dip. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath and we'll do this one more time. Inhale, right leg lifts, knee to chest, hovering triangle, side plank, left side, right leg is lifting, wild thing, seat to the earth, fingertips to toes, wild thing, side plank, chaturanga, downward facing dog, left leg lifts, knee to chest, hovering triangle, side plank on the right side, left leg lifts, wild thing, seat to the earth, fingertips to toes, wild thing, side plank, chaturanga, and downward facing dog. Take a breath, reconnect. Child's pose is always there for you if you need it. If you're in child's pose, slowly come back to downward facing dog. We'll move on to another flow sequence. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps up. Come up, warrior two. Get your alignment. Breathe here. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. Making sure that front knee remains bent. And the back edge of the back foot has got weight in it. Keeping the inner arch active. Inhale, back to warrior two. Moving into a side angle, so I'm putting knee to thigh. Sweeping this top arm down, up and around. Lengthening out. Long line of energy. Little finger is rotated towards the earth. You can look at the palm or let the neck go anywhere that feels good. Back up to warrior two. Destination, half moon. So you may need a block here. Stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips, maybe looking up to the sky. Gently with grace, releasing back to warrior two. Palms come down. Step back, down dog or vinyasa. And breathe. Inhale, left leg lifts. Step up, warrior two. Get your stable foundation. Get your breath. Get your gaze. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. Side angle, your version. Keeping the back arch active. If you're on the elbow, not dumping all the weight into it, using the strength of the core to help support the torso. Back up, warrior two. Destination half moon. Release gently back, warrior two. Plant the hands, take a vinyasa or go to dog. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. We will do that sequence again a couple of times. However, we will move forward on the right side and then we'll reverse it, coming back on the left side. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Warrior two. Half moon. You can do Chapasana here if that feels good. Back should be nice and open after all those wild things. This is the different transition. Release back to half moon. Top hand will come down. Pelvis rotates towards the floor. And that left leg comes down to meet the right. Grounding into the right, the left fingertips, opening up into half moon on this side. Maybe Chapasana. Release back to half moon. Step back into a warrior two. Side angle on this side. Back to warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Warrior two. Vinyasa or downward dog. Maybe do a double dip. I think I might have a little bit of strength back in my triceps. Downward facing dog. This time we will lead with the left foot. Inhale, left foot lifts. Step up, warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Side angle, your version. Warrior two. Half moon. Maybe Chapasana. Or should I call it candy cane as it's Christmas? Back to half moon. Top hand comes down, rotate the pelvis, right foot comes down to meet the left, grounding into the right fingertips, half moon on the right. Maybe Chapasana. Oops. Back to half moon. I feel very lopsided. Back to warrior two. Side angle. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Warrior two. Vinyasa. And breathe. Knees come down, a well-deserved child's pose. Forehead to the earth. Here, remember that object that you had in your mind at the start of class. And those two questions. What is your secret? And how do you survive? And slowly coming out of child's pose, making our way onto the back. We will move into some back bends. First of all, supported bridge. Bringing the feet underneath the hips. Grab a block. If you don't have a block, it doesn't matter. You can just do normal bridge. Pelvis lifts. Place the block at the height that feels good for you. Just open the front of the body here. We did a lot of stepping forward, a lot of crunching forward, so this is a great counter pose. And gently release. You may do another bridge or come into wheel pose if it's within your practice. Feet underneath the knees, lengthen in the lower back, arms come overhead, fingertips place onto the earth facing the shoulders. Come up to the back of the shoulders. Inhale, come to the top of the head, maybe readjust, and then push up into wheel pose, 5 breaths. Aiming to get the arms as straight as possible with the chest pushing into the wall in front of you. Equal balance in the feet. And when you're ready, slowly descend. 1 vertebra at a time. Don't pull the knees into the chest. Release the wrists. Just let the knees knock together in constructive rest, rolling out the wrists. It's always when I do a wheel pose, I regret my hair choice. It's a bit awkward to do it with a bun on top of the head. Even worse if you've got a hair clip. Yoga problems, huh? Okay, we will do another back bend because 3 is a charm, and the best warm up for back bends is more back bends. You can do bridge, you can do wheel, or you can do forearm wheel, which is what I will do. So this requires a little bit more opening and flexibility in the spine. Come to your position, so feet are underneath the knees. Inhale, lift the pelvis. If you're moving into wheel, hands come by the shoulders, fingertips facing towards the shoulders, grounding down, lifting onto the top of the head, coming up into wheel. Even if you're doing forearm wheel, you start in wheel pose. Then release the head, crown of the head down, and the hands clasp behind the head as if you're doing a headstand, Shirshasana A. Pressing into the forearms, feeling that openness in the front body. Deep breaths. So it is quite hard to breathe in these positions because the front of the body is stretched out like you're in a giant inhale. If you're in forearm wheel, you transition back up to regular wheel. And then slowly descend down, one vertebra at a time. Do not bring the knees into the chest yet. Maybe allow them to windscreen wipe side to side. Roll out the wrists. We always want to allow the spine to return to its normal shape, the discs of their own accord, rather than forcing a counter pose, a bend the other way. It's much better for the health of the spine if we allow the discs to go back to their normal shape of their own accord. A few more breaths here. Bring the knees into the chest now, one by one. Maybe give a little squeeze. See how you feel. And gently rock up to a seated position. Bring the right knee into the chest, foot flat to the earth. Then allow it to fall open to the side for Janushirasana. Sole of the right foot inside the left thigh. Lengthen out of the spine. Body is slightly twisted here. Inhale, arms to the sky, and exhale, come forward, maybe grabbing the foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, descend. Nice long breaths. Inhale, lift, return. This foot comes across for Gomukhasana. You can do half Gomukhasana, depending on the hips. Lengthening out the spine. Maybe folding this leg back. I don't know what this posture is going to be like for me today. It's different every day. This is my nemesis. Maybe descend forward. Sending the breath to areas where you feel tightness. Inhale, return upright. Bringing this sole of the foot flat to the earth for a twist. Right arm comes behind, left arm to the sky, and as you exhale, rotating from here, maybe hooking. If it's within your practice, you may reach down and grab the inside of this foot. Come back to neutral, unravel, release. Maybe shake out these legs a little bit. Moving into Janushirasana this side. Left knee coming in. Allow it to flop open. Tall out of the pelvis. Arms to the sky. Exhale, come forward as far as you can with a straight spine, and then exhale, descend. Inhale, lift, coming out, moving into Gomukhasana on this side. So swinging this top knee over. Maybe staying with the leg extended, or you can fold this one back. See how it feels. Maybe you need to do a little bit of rearrangement. Lengthen and then descend. Observing the tensions in the body and the hips. Here, now come up, maneuvering into the twist. So this foot comes flat to the earth. Left hand behind, right arm to the sky, rotating. Hooking this elbow, maybe reaching down and grabbing. This side's a bit more difficult for me like this. Returning to the midline, releasing, shaking those legs out. When you're ready, we'll slowly descend to the earth. Next posture is Shavasana, so if there's any movement your body is craving right now, be sure to do it before you settle into Shavasana. When you are ready, the legs will flop open, shoulders will snuggle down the back, palms to the sky, fingertips curling gently towards the heart. The windows of the eyes are closed, face is relaxed, tongue is relaxed, feeling that support of the earth to ground you. And we'll return once again to those two questions and the object. What is your secret? And how do you survive? When you look at the answers that came up for you, those answers actually apply to you. So whatever your answer was, it wasn't for that object, it was for you. And this was an exercise I did on my yoga teacher training. And I remember it was in Mexico, and I looked out and I saw a cactus. And I said to it, "What is your secret?" And the answer I got back was, "I don't need much water." When I said, "How do you survive?" And the answer was, "I survive with very little." And when that answer came up for me, I realized how little you do actually need in life to get by. So whatever came up for you, maybe just focus on that and breathe. Start to focus your awareness on the furthest away sound you can hear. Maybe a distant car or a distant bird in the tree. Then focus your hearing on the closest sound. Maybe your own breath. Bringing your awareness back into your space, back into the body, bringing movement to the fingers and toes. You could roll out the wrists and roll out the ankles. Any movement feels good for you. Full body stretch might feel good. And never say no to a stretch. When you're ready, one by one, bring the knees into the chest. A little hug and a squeeze. Roll over onto your favorite side. Pause for a moment in the fetal position. With the eyes closed, gently come up to a comfortable seat. Hands face down on the knees, tall spine, shoulders relaxed. Chin parallel to the earth. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. What is your secret? How do you survive? Palms come into the chest. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you feel strong and mobile in the body and of course in the mind. Thank you once again, and I hope to see you again soon.